Well, alrighty. Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest here, welcoming you back to Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories, and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast, wherever you're watching Before the Four this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your afternoon here. Now, we all know we have a lot of high school football going on tonight. We have Halloween going on tomorrow night. Some exciting times this weekend. But what you probably want to know is how the weather is going to pan out over the next couple of days. So let's turn over to 48 First Alert meteorologist Jeff DeNoyer for a look at the latest weather.
Hey, good Thursday to everybody. Those clouds stubborn today. Got to get them out of here. Get a little sunshine would have been nice. And eventually get into some better weather just in time for the trick-or-treat forecast that you see there behind me. Some sun popping in the shoals finally. It took a while, but we're there. That's why it's a little warmer in the shoals right now than everybody else, because you did get a little sunshine. You're at 61, but areas that have been socked in with the clouds are stuck in the 50s. Winds have been gusty up to about 20 miles an hour. They'll subside here this evening. And with calm winds, clear skies, and a really fresh, cold air mass, temperatures will tumble into the 30s. Could be a little patchy late frost when you wake up for your Halloween morning, but once we get rid of the cold temperatures in the morning, the sunshine will help warm us into the low 60s, and it looks good. Last year, it rained for trick-or-treaters. Not this year. It'll be dry and cool. Saturday, clouds build back in to 20%, means some showers at night. They'll linger into Sunday morning. Some sun by Sunday afternoon. We're in the upper 50s to near 60, and don't forget, of course, daylight saving time will come to an end this weekend. Clocks fall back 1 hour. Whatever sun we have on Sunday, it will set before 5 p.m. Plenty of sunshine. The forecast for next week looks good right now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Temperatures in the 60s to near 70 degrees for the first part of November.
Well, alrighty then, and also make sure to stay tuned for First Alert Weather Extra. I say it every day. That goes on at 9:30, so it'll be on at 9:30 tonight. You can watch it wherever you're watching Before the Four. Right now, Jeff DeNoyer will be on the live stream tonight here in the CTV Center, so make sure to leave a comment, any questions, thoughts you might have. Jeff will shout you out on the live stream, and he always has a great time with it, but you're just not going to want to miss it. First Alert Weather Extra. But now we're going to, in just a few days, SNAP benefits will be suspended for the month of November as the federal government remains shut down. Yesterday, 48's Callie Nee spoke with the Department of Human Resource officials all about it. Let's take a listen to what they had to say.
Officials tell me that SNAP recipients can continue to use their benefits on an ongoing basis until that money runs out. However, come November 1st, they will not be issuing benefits for November. DHR officials tell me they have been working with local community resources across the state to try to build their capacity in this time of need. They're also encouraging SNAP recipients who are in need to reach out to their local DHR office to be connected to resources, adding that they are hoping once the government shutdown or the suspension is over, they will be able to issue those benefits as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is a critical issue. We understand that this is something that's going to be playing out over the next several weeks, and we want those individuals to visit their local county DHR or the local community resources there to get fed and to get those resources. And we'll continue to try to monitor the situation and put out any information that we know as soon as possible.
However, some people, like Joseph Mason, are worried about how they will get food.
And I don't understand why that just because they can't get along on each side, we have to stop getting our food.
Mason said he's relied on SNAP since 2007. Now the risk of suspension is getting closer. He told 48 he may have to make some tough choices.
The food stamps, that's the only thing I eat on. And without that, then I have to stop this and I have to stop that. I have to stop the doctors or going to the doctors because I have to buy some food. It's one way or the other.
Officials from DHR are continuing to encourage people to apply for SNAP as well as recertify and submit those 6 months reports. They say it's because it's business as usual. They just won't be issuing November's benefits. Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Hey, now we're going to take a short break, but coming up after the break, the latest on feral cats in Fayetteville, Tennessee, a cemetery in Decatur vandalized, and a lot of high school football going on tonight with Halloween looming over us for tomorrow night. We'll talk about it all in 1 minute. All right, break time over. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, a few weeks ago, we brought you a story on feral cats in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Well, yesterday, 48's Noah Cowell went back up to the volunteer state to follow up on that situation. Let's see what city leaders are saying now.
Residents here in Fayetteville say the feral cat population has been growing with not many places to treat them. Fayetteville police say animal control doesn't have the necessary facilities to house these feral cats, something longtime residents say has only become an issue in recent years. Fayetteville Police Commander Andy Rodriguez says they've been working hard to look for ways to combat the feral cat problem, which includes potentially renovating animal control or moving the facility entirely. He says through research, the problem can only be helped by trapping, spaying, and neutering these animals.
We have reached out to Patch's Place, Lucky's Cat House. Several people in the community have offered to assist us, and we are looking at ways to partner with them and fund a trap, neuter, vaccinate, and release program with the community in these organizations.
One local spay-neuter clinic says they just did exactly that to a feral cat this afternoon after trapping it last night. But they say they only have one single volunteer going out and doing this. Susan Nyland, who helped start the clinic 12 years ago, says they started with almost a dozen volunteers back then. And if they want to manage this issue now, they need to get those volunteers back up.
You cannot get ahead of it. When you only have one person, you cannot get ahead of it. A lot of the people out there don't even know about the clinic. And you have to get the word out by simply going to them. You cannot expect them to come to you.
Nyland is urging the police department to find any sort of way possible to bring feral cats back into their animal control, adding that it may bring in more volunteers interested to help these animals. Police told me they are working hard to find any way they can. Reporting in Fayetteville, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
And now heading out to Decatur, where a cemetery was recently vandalized. A car crashed into several headstones, leaving them in ruins. 48's Faith Delp with the latest.
Behind me are the headstones of hundreds of people, many with families still in Decatur. Nearest to me are a handful of family tombstones that were destroyed by a driver fleeing from police. Historians told me today that some of them were among the first tombstones to be placed in this cemetery, and they might not be able to repair them.
And those pieces and these pieces, I just can't fathom.
The stones were hit last month, and Decatur police are still looking for the man they say is responsible. They say he was fleeing police when he crashed his car into the cemetery and escaped on foot. There are still pieces of the car next to the headstones. Historian Peggy Allen Towns said it is horrifying to see this historical section of the cemetery destroyed. She says it is home to the graves of many black men and women whose families were forced to bury them there due to segregation laws.
And to see these founding black couples or families, the markers destroyed, it's just horrific to me. It's just terrifying.
Wilhelm H. Ragland is a retired pastor and a friend to some of the descendants whose family history is now in pieces.
This has a devastating impact upon our church and our civic and religious community.
An archivist told me it will take a very skilled professional to get these stones back to their original condition. Some might even be too far gone.
These were very, very beautiful grave markers, and they're priceless. And it's a sorrow.
Decatur police told me they would send a more detailed description of the suspect, and once we have that information, we will update you at WAFF.com. Reporting in Decatur, Faith Delp 48 News on your side.
And now let's talk about 48 Blitz, some high school football going on this week. And y'all, this is the final week of regular season high school football here in Alabama, as teams will be gearing up for the playoffs after today and tomorrow. Our 48 game of the week, the Deschler Tigers facing off against the West Morgan Rebels. And this is a very good game of the week, as both squads are still undefeated on the season. Deschler 9-0, West Morgan also 9-0. This is the way you settle it. Who wins the region in Class 4A, Region 7? Whoever wins this game reigns victorious over the region. And we already know these two teams have some history, as last year's matchup last season went into double overtime, a double overtime thriller. It's going to be a good game tonight. Deschler and West Morgan. I cannot wait to see who comes out on top in our 48 Blitz game of the week. And of course, stay tuned to our tailgate tour tonight at 5:35. You can watch that wherever you're watching. Before the 4 right now, we'll be at West Morgan High School. Carl Prather will be there. Kaylee Tinglestad will be there. Peyton Walker as well. And we'll have all the pregame happenings at West Morgan. A lot of high school football games playing tonight, as Halloween is tomorrow. They want to get the games in before Halloween, and so that they can be free on Halloween night, I absolutely understand that. But yes, tonight's game, Deschler and West Morgan, gonna be an exciting one, no doubt about it. But now, Columbia High School here in Alabama is seeking its first win in 10 years. The Eagles are currently on a 100-game losing streak after falling short to Jasper last week. But tonight, Columbia has an opportunity to set a new streak, a streak that sees the Eagles sailing to the top after the final whistle blows. Tonight, they face off against Hazel Green. 48's Nick Ballinger reports on those Columbia Eagles, led by head coach and former Auburn receiver Sammy Coates. Let's take a look.
The darkest clouds bring the heaviest rain. And there's never been clouds over a program darker than the ones over Columbia High School football. No one knows that more than head coach Sammy Coates.
I'm rebuilding the program from the ground up. There's no way around it. I'm at the very bottom.
The last time the Golden Eagles were in the win column, their coach was catching touchdowns on the Plains. Now, with the nation's longest losing streak extended to 100 games and the final game on the horizon, Coates is reminding his players no storm can reign forever.
It's the first year I know any of these players, and the way they stepped up and became leaders and led the team to where we are right now is big to me. They do have it in them to be great, to be winners.
Coates came in with goals bigger than a win.
Behavior, discipline, doing the right things inside the building.
He says his team of 40 student athletes have achieved one of the best team GPAs in years, with all students passing their classes.
They came to practice every day. They show up to work. They kept fighting. They keep fighting. Especially the seniors. When you've been through what you've been through, seniors that play here 4 years, and haven't won a game and still show up the next year, that'll tell you what kind of character he really has.
With game film watched, locker room prepped, and jerseys washed, the Golden Eagles are ready to make history.
These kids, I understand, if they win one game, they could go out on top because they haven't done it in so long, so they'll be the class that changed the program.
Time will tell what will be at the end of this rainbow for the Golden Eagles.
And I love that shot right there from Nick Ballinger, that rainbow at the end of that story. Awesome story there from Nick Ballinger. I'm excited to see if the Columbia Eagles can do it tonight and break that streak once and for all. It's going to be an exciting game, Hazel Green and Columbia tonight. But now let's talk about the scoreboard. Of course, you can stay tuned and follow up on all the latest scores here in North Alabama in high school football. We'll be updating those on our website, of course. You'll just go to the sports section of WAFF.com. You'll click on sports scores, and you'll have all the latest scores across the Tennessee Valley. The final week of high school football, it's upon us, y'all. But now let's go into the stories that you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. The latest on the manhunt currently going on in Powell, Alabama. 48's Will Eldridge will have the latest there. The latest on a house fire in Hazel Green. And finally, tracking Hurricane Melissa in the Caribbean. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. And it is 3:56. We got plenty of time for it. It is time for Facebook fun. Our 48 Facebook question today. What are your plans for Halloween tomorrow? Do you have any plans for Halloween? Let's see what you all had to say. Looks like Charles, he said, going to the haunted tour at Low Mill. I've heard great things about that, Charles. Have a great time at the haunted tour. Muffy said, stay home, hand out candy. Gotta love it. I wish I lived in a neighborhood where I got a lot of trick-or-treaters. I think that would be a lot of fun. But have a great time doing that. Kimberly, trunk-or-treats and trick-or-treating for the little ones. Gotta cherish it. Spend time with the little ones. I love it. Jay Clark, act at the haunted house. We have us an actor. This is at Sweet Dreams Haunted House. Jay Clark right there. Jason Tucker said, come on out from 5 to 7, 4:50 to see the helicopter land. This is the trunk or treat, I believe, at Piney Chapel. Yep, the Piney Chapel Fire Department is putting on a trunk or treat tonight from 5 to 7. You can see a helicopter land, according to Jason Tucker. So that might be something you want to do tonight. Bring the kids out, have a trunk or treat, load up on candy, and see a helicopter land. It does not get much better than that. That's what I call Thursday night living, no doubt about it. But y'all, that is just about it for today's Before the Four. Thank you all for commenting on our 48 Facebook question of the day. I greatly appreciate it. You all enjoyed tonight's evening newscast. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.